Good morning.
Happy Wednesday.
This is the WOW podcast, WOWW, Wendy's on Wellness Wednesday. We are coming to you live today on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, soon to add some more platforms. We do this every Wednesday, usually Wednesday mornings, and we absolutely love having the opportunity to come and share with you all things about natural health and healing. I am Dr. Wendy Sue Massey. I am a alternative medical practitioner, retired ER and trauma nurse. Have my PhD in integrative medicine. I love to cook, love to garden. I'm an author. I always forget to mention that.
That's right.
Wife, mom, Gigi, lover of Jesus, all the things. And this is my dear friend, Wendy Flournoy.
Hi, guys. I'm Wendy Flournoy, certified hypnotherapist, herbal enthusiast, mom, wife, Gigi to 5, soon to be 6, gardener, lover of Jesus, lover of all things natural and non-toxic.
Amen, sister. So today we have a lot to cover. You know us. We're going to try and keep it to an hour. You know how we do.
Always a lot to cover.
Yes, we are definitely getting to morning routines because we've put that off, I think, twice now. And we definitely want to cover that. Got a lot to talk about with morning routines. We want to talk about the Make America Healthy Again movement because that is such a hot topic of conversation right now.
Very much.
And can we just start off? Anybody that
I know what you're going to bring up.
Anybody that thinks, oh gosh, this is just a conservative couple of girls, that are going to, no, Wendy and I are both libertarians.
Yep.
Wendy and I are very much both common sense, right down the middle, wherever we feel the Bible leads us to, wherever we feel common sense leads us to, that's the direction we go. Well, can I tell you how uncommon sense like it was?
I was actually disgusted when I saw it.
It made me so mad. As a matter of fact, it's so funny. So we're talking about the picture of RFK on the plane on Trump Force One with McDonald's. And first of all, let me just tell you, I got tickled with this because the first time I even heard about it, Bill was talking about it, and he came home mad. He came home mad and told me that he told people on some Facebook post that this has to be AI generated and blah, blah, blah. I mean, he was like mad.
I really thought it was at first. I really did.
I'm afraid it was, girl. And when I searched and saw that it was posted by Don Jr. first, and it was meant in jest, he said MAHA starts tomorrow. Okay, funny.
Because we're all famous for saying I'll do it tomorrow.
Yes, funny, haha. I thought it was a horrible ammunition for people who just love to get their hands on anything anti, what's happening right now that is truly for the good. And I was so sickened over that, but whatever, it is what it is. I will tell you, long before Trump was elected, I heard multiple times Don Jr., Eric Trump, even Trump himself say that he eats horrible. Yeah. That his normal is horrible. And the reason why he's so healthy is amazing genes. I mean, I've heard him say that. Joe Rogan was like, you're kidding me. You literally eat fast food all the time. Like, he eats terrible.
Yeah.
And
I've always heard that about him.
I have too. And I heard RFK talk about this before the election, that his first order of business is to help Trump change on Air Force One what they offer, because he said usually you go on there, or not, well, Air Force One, I guess now it will be, but Trump Force One, you go on there and usually your options are like KFC and Taco Bell or something stupid like that.
And he does love his McDonald's.
He does. So anyway, I know that RFK, one of his taglines and things that you can get shirts and hats for and all that stuff, is make frying oil tallow again, and so he's talked about how he looks forward to making things like McDonald's more like they were when we were kids.
Yes.
Was healthier, but still, I just thought I could not believe. Let's just give people ammunition who are not even going to hear his agenda because they are so biased on who made the appointment.
Yes.
I don't give a crap
Nope.
if what is that party that is so far communist? Bread and Roses party. They've never really gotten any traction, but I don't care if it was a Bread and Roses party appointment. I know what RFK stands for, and I'm so excited for him.
I think he's gotten such a bad rap in the media as far as being, wanting anti-vax. They portray him as being anti-vax every vaccine, and it's not like that.
No.
He is for the core vaccines that have been proven and tried, but all of the rest that they've added and done no studies and research on is what he's against. And he's also against things being mandated.
Yes.
Whether it's the food or the vaccines.
Yeah. He is wanting to he wants to give people the knowledge that they need to make the decisions that are best for them. And that's exactly what I've always said. I am not anti-vax, 100% not. I got my kids vaccinated, as did Kennedy. None of us are anti-vax. We are anti-vaccines that aren't effective, and we are anti-people being forced. And
and then the vaccine, I mean, like when we were coming up and when he was coming up, there was like 6 to 10 core vaccines.
And they had
74 now.
Right. And those that when we were coming up, when our kids were coming up, were like 98% effective.
Yes.
Absolutely. Give them those all day long. They are 100% necessary. The problem is, and this is what people don't realize, not only do we really not know what these vaccines that have been added are really doing to our children's health, to long-term health. They have not studied them long enough. They've been allowed.
That's the thing that gets me. They don't even know because they never studied it.
Right.
And then he's finding some vaccines that still have the mercury in it,
which he was a big part of getting rid of. But you're right, they still carry. And he was a big part in that. What was it, in like 2013, 2015, something like that, of eliminating.
He's gone after a lot of things like that. People don't realize the good that he has done for the environment and for a lot of other things too.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a shame that some stupid picture had to taint all this, because it just made me want to puke. I was so mad about
I was like, what are they thinking?
I know.
This is horrible.
Especially people in the health space like us, we're not going to find that funny, because I would have starved on that plane before I would have ate McDonald's. But at the same time, and there were no bites taken out of his food. Maybe it was just for the funny photo op. Who knows? Or maybe he ate it. I don't know. But why give people ammunition to not pay attention to what the heck he has to say? Because he's brilliant and he's done a lot of really good work. So anyway, I was very disappointed in that, but you know what? We still have a movement that is going forward. I posted about this week. If you guys don't understand what a big deal this is, we're going to talk specifically about what the MAHA movement stands for, but we're also I really want you all take the time. I will post the link in the show notes. Please take the time to watch the nearly 4-hour what did they call it, the health roundtable.
The health roundtable.
My other phone, I was gonna say,
to be honest, I still haven't gotten through it. I am listening to it in chunks, but wow,
I was in tears. I was literally in tears, happy and sad tears. For one, it's so stinking exciting to be part of this revolution. This is a grassroots revolution, and more people's eyes are being opened. So it's very, very exciting to be a part of it. But what really got me upset, there was a girl named Grace. I can't remember her last name. She was an 18-year-old that had experienced a lot of illness as a young child. and was talking about, basically what she felt like the experiments that have been done on food have done to her generation. And she was so well spoken, and it just absolutely gutted me. And then to hear, there was another lady who apparently has quite a following. She and I had all of my the names of everybody written down or in my other phone, but it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. You got to watch it all. But this one lady, it was funny because Senator Ron Johnson even said, "I'm saving the best for last." She was a powerhouse. She has, I guess, most of her followers are young moms, late 20s to early 30s. And some of her amazing lines, I mean, she was like yelling. She was livid about how hard it is to raise children in an age where, you hope that you're feeding them well in breast form, with breast milk, but you find out that there's microplastics in your breast milk that you're giving to your baby. And then if you need formula, in order to avoid seed oils, you've got to get them from Europe. My daughter's done that. She's had to get a European formula for Carter. He just now stopped formula, in the last couple months, but she's had to do that just to have a decent formula for him. I mean, but the best line of all, she said, we are finding that we have had no choice but to co-parent with the government, and we want a divorce. I was like,
oh, I love it.
It was beautiful.
I want a divorce from the government too.
Yeah, we do too. But it was beautiful. The food babe talked. She was amazing. Of course, we've shared in here about the Jillian Michaels talk.
She was very passionate too.
Yeah. The guy who started the Hue Kitchen, that does the Hue chocolate bars, he was excellent. There was a mental health provider. Oh, Jordan Peterson talked, and his daughter. I never made the connection that they were father-daughter, but his daughter is Michaela Peterson something. But anyway, she's the one that created that launched the Lion Diet, which is carnivore, which I don't agree with. But you know what I loved about her? She talked about, she lived a life, her entire childhood, with such tremendous disease. It was incredible. And you think Jordan Peterson had all the money in the world, could probably had her with the best physicians, and they kept, I mean, she went through the whole thing, how Western medicine made her sicker and sicker. It reminded me a lot of what we went through with Matthew. But she said, one of the things she said is, look, this diet is not going to be right for anybody or for everybody, but somebody should at least be studying why it's working on so many of us.
Exactly.
And have the research out there. So anyway, it's such a powerful 3.5 to 4 hours. Break it up. It's worth every minute of your time. It doesn't get you energized to be part of this movement, then you are dead. You are not breathing, because it's impossible for you to hear that and not get excited. So, girl,
I'm excited for what it's going to do for our grandchildren's generation.
Same. Because as of right now, and this is something a lot of people don't realize, I hear people being like, oh, what's the big deal? Right now, for the first time in any kind of recent history, our children who have been born 2015 and later, which is all our grandbabies, and my sweet Jacob, our children and our grandchildren that have been born 2015 or later are expected to have a shorter lifespan than that of their parents.
That's so sad.
That should disturb the heck out of everybody. So we are not, people think, oh, our life span has gone up. No, our death span. We are not living well. We're dying poorly is what it is. We have decades now where you're living sick.
Yep. I was going to say quality of life is not there at the end.
Not
with
at all.
The way our society is right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're going to be old, we might as well feel good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So some of the things that I did pull from the MAHA Pack website so that people could just get an idea. And I'm sure we'll talk more in depth about different points of this, throughout future episodes because there's so much to cover and more will be rolled out, I'm sure. But the first big one that I know you and I are very passionate about is dismantling corporate influence over government agencies that have contributed to widespread chronic illness, environmental degradation, and declining public trust. I mean, that's huge. And what a lot of people don't realize currently, the boards, the FDA, the USDA, all of these boards have all of these special interest people sitting on them making decisions for
Yep.
us. I mean, the leader of the head of Ozempic, of the AstraZeneca or whatever that company is that makes Ozempic, isn't even American.
Yep.
Somewhere like Norwegian or something. I don't know. One of these other countries. He sits on our FDA board. What?
Crazy.
Of course.
No, I don't know how we ever got to this point, but it's hard. It's happening, money. Right? And it's all about money.
Yeah.
Every single thing boils down to money, and it's disgusting.
It is. One of the things that the Food Babe was asked about in that roundtable, because Americans have over 10,000 ingredients that are additives in our foods that have all been approved under this GRAS exemption, the generally recognized as safe exemption that was put in place in 1958. And what that means, for anybody that doesn't know, these companies can just hire some scientists to do some tests. Now, you tell me something. If you're pouring money into some scientists, don't you think those tests are going to turn out exactly how you want them to?
No, say it ain't so.
So unless they kill somebody right then and there, then they are going to the FDA and saying, yep, we did our test. These are generally recognized as safe. And FDA just gives them a check mark. That's how we've gotten to over 10,000 additives in our foods that have not truly undergone real testing. They have certainly not undergone third-party testing.
Or they outright know that they're dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Europe allows 400.
Yep.
So day one, if nothing else,
cut off
those 9,600 that we have that don't match Europe. There's already a playbook. Let's already just start there. And we can do the 400 that exist. And then from there, let's test those and see if we need those 400.
That's right.
But I mean, there is that much of a discrepancy in what our food allows and what Europe allows, and the same manufacturers have the same foods in
both. Have the capability to make it for here, but they don't have to, so they don't.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy. Look at it when you start looking at labels of things. A loaf of bread, what? They used to make bread at home with like 4 ingredients and simple, and it's like 24, 25 ingredients.
I was reading something the other day, and I don't remember the name of the agent, but there is a foaming agent that they were putting in bread in, and this is actually something that Food Babe, I believe it was her, because she's become quite the political activist. She's gone after companies with like tons of signatures saying, hey, sign this and let's get rid of this. She may have been where I heard this from, but anyway, but there's a foaming agent that had been put in that was, I mean, carcinogenic and all these things that was being put into Subway sandwiches. And then because it was so, it made just such uniform, beautiful loaves at Subway, was in turn then used in a lot of our breads that we see all in, on the grocery store shelves. And all it was intended was to add the little, the air pockets or whatever in our bread to make it look better. Meanwhile, it's given us freaking cancer.
No.
So, I mean, just insane the stuff that's been allowed in our foods with.
But it's like when you switch over to growing food or buying organic things, they're not perfect. They're not perfectly shaped. The apples aren't perfect. Nothing's perfect because I think a lot of people have gotten used to it's supposed to be picture perfect.
And it's
No,
not.
it's not. It is definitely not.
Nope. I will gladly grab a bag of organic apples.
Yes.
Has some bruises, has a couple little dents in them or things
Yep.
like that. And if it's bad enough of a bruise, I'll cut that piece off. But at
Yep.
least I know what I'm getting is good.
That's right.
I mean, and you and I both raise so much of our food in our gardens.
Yeah.
And how often do you get tomatoes that are all uniform? Yeah, no.
Very rare.
Some that are huge.
Tomatoes, peppers, anything you grow. I mean, it's
anything.
1 out of 20, you'll get the perfect fruit.
Yeah, that's picture perfect. But they really are not supposed to be. But definitely dismantling the corporate influence is going to be huge.
Yes.
That is why we are where we are, because the lobbyists have lined the and this is going to be our biggest challenge, y'all.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
They're going to fight it. They're going to fight it so hard because they're making so much money.
Our politicians are making so much money. So you need to send messages to your senator, because we have got to get this stuff. They got to know how serious we are. I don't care if you live in a state and the the senator that represents you is clearly not going to be, for whatever it is that same,
I'm going to contact him anyway.
I am too. And I'm going to say, look,
your House of Representatives, even though they don't pass the stuff like this, they listen and they pass it to the senators.
Yeah.
So make sure you're contacting both House and Senate.
Yeah. You got
our voices need to be heard that we are serious about this.
Yeah. We stop taking money from these people. Stop using it to poison our children. I'm sick that how bad greed has taken over. And this is the same thing with the vaccine schedule. This is the same thing with the big push for the COVID and the flu vaccines all these years. And you know what? I had somebody ask me about this the other day, and I got real passionate. After watching the roundtable, and I'm so disgusted with how much health has become a political topic. It's not political. It's not partisan. No. It is the health of your children and of ourselves. And it's disgusting. So I posted something with the intent of showing how insane it is that health has become political. And course, most people understood what I was doing. I had my handful of people that were nasty and whatever. But I will say that multiple people asked me, "Oh, are you saying you're anti-vax?" 100% not.
No.
100% not. Where I struggle, and this is what we just mentioned earlier, is the efficacy. If you could see every year as a nurse, they used to, I don't know that all nurses look at this, but there are reports that come out. So every year as a nurse, I looked. There were reports that came out over the efficacy of the flu vaccine. This is where my brain started going. My ex-husband, my kid's dad, he is brilliant. He went to school to be a biomedical scientist and just very, very intelligent and all this stuff. So even back in the 90s, he would come home and tell me, he was like, these flu vaccines are bogus. They're ridiculous. Everything he was learning, and this was in academia, he could still recognize this, where academia has an agenda too. And he could still recognize this because he said, they're constantly making these viral vaccines based on last year's strain. It's known that these viruses morph every year.
Yep.
So we would get reports in nursing every year, or just in general, they're available to everybody, to see the annual efficacy from year to year. On average, I saw them as low as 16%.
Yep.
I've never seen them higher than the low 60s, low to mid 60s. I will just say 65 to be, a nice round number. I'm thinking it was more like 62, but most years were like 30%, 40%.
That's crazy.
Why am I going to put something in my body?
And you can fight it naturally a lot better than that.
Yes. And when I already know I have a healthy immune system, the whole narrative changed during COVID on how you fight with, it was, oh, you're killing grandma if you don't get a vaccine. That is not true. It is intended to improve your, how the virus responds to your body, not everybody else's.
Yeah.
So just horrible, non-science was spread during that time period. But yeah, so that's my thing. I will take vaccines all day long that have been proven to be 98, 99% effective and recommend them for my grandchildren.
I took the flu vaccine years ago and I did it 2 years in a row, and 2 years in a row, I got so sick.
Yeah.
So sick.
It made me sick every year.
Well, after that second one, I was like, no more. I think I can do better.
Yeah.
And that was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I haven't had one since.
Well, when I was first in nursing school, I don't know that it was an option. I was very much let me follow all the rules and not ask questions. And
in nursing and in the medical field, a lot of places don't give you a choice.
So Virginia. So this is what happened with me. Early on in my career, I just went along with it. I never asked if it was an option or not. I just did it. And every year I got sick. Then I stopped doing it because I found out that I had the option. I could wear a mask for, flu season at the hospital and just not take it. So I stopped taking it. I moved to Maryland. Maryland requires it of every single nurse that is attached in any way to a hospital or a long-term care facility. There is no getting around it when you're in Maryland. And I didn't know that. So I signed a 2-year agreement when I came up here and worked. So for 2 years, I had to get it. For 2 years, it made me sick.
Right.
As soon as my 2 years were up, I started my hour and 45-minute commute each way back and forth to Virginia again, where I had a choice. And you know what? If I chose to take it, great. But I wanted the option. Don't tell me I have to. And praise God I did, because that was all pre-COVID.
Right.
Because then, of course, people were mandated for that. But all I want is good data so people can make their decisions. I don't
educated decision.
Yes.
based on facts and science. And that is where all of the distrust comes in now, because that whole COVID period, they proved to us that they were lying and we can't trust them.
Yeah. Yeah. And anybody that doesn't see that now, I'm praying for you, because there's so much data out there that shows it. If you are willing to open your eyes
about the mask, and a lot of the medical facilities went right along with it.
Oh yeah. Well,
that
there were a lot of financial benefits for them to do so.
Absolutely.
My final straw, for anybody that doesn't know where I left through all this, I was still an ER nurse during COVID, and COVID started it was all the mandates started in March. I left in July. And in that time period, I'll be the first to tell you, when it first started, I was scared to death. I didn't know what the heck was going on.
Oh, I think we all were.
Yeah.
The first 2 weeks, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of shut down. Nobody knows what's going on. Figure it out. But after that, when they were trying, when Lowe's and McDonald's could stay open, but
churches
mom and pop shops couldn't,
and churches had to close.
That just kind of was like, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not only that, and this is when, again, I'm a common sense person. I've really evolved over my years, and where I start asking questions. And when I showed up to work one day and they advised us that we should probably have those gaiters or things like that in case we ran out of masks, because there was concern about those. Those things ain't stopping a germ one from coming through.
Nope.
And they're telling us that bandanas are acceptable for the most deadly thing we've ever experienced in our life. Plus, we're having to wear the same mask for a week, which, if anybody knows anything about how viruses are spread, pre-COVID, if JCO, which is a governing body that comes in and makes sure that all the hospitals are running right, Joint Commission, if they would have come in during pre-COVID and seen me walk out of a room, especially an isolation room with somebody who had the flu or something like that, and I still had booties on, a gown on, a mask on, dude, I would have gotten written up in a heartbeat.
Yep.
And all of a sudden now, the most deadly thing we're ever dealing with, I'm being told I have to wear the same gown all week from room to room. I have to wear the same mask all week from room to room, the same bonnet, the same shoe covers. It was insane. And that's when my brain started going, the math ain't mathing, y'all. This doesn't make sense. So my last straw, though, when I left, I was getting tired of being asked to swab trauma victims. People that came in from motorcycle accidents who were deceased, homeless young person who came in deceased from a drug overdose, and we're being told we have to swab. One doctor gave me the reason because we had to protect the funeral home people and make sure they knew what they were dealing with. Last time I checked, it's a respiratory virus, and that person ain't breathing. So
but they were the facilities were getting money.
They were
for the count numbers, right?
Yeah. And we were told that we had to swab everybody. And so even if they came in completely asymptomatic, and if it was a deceased person, but my last weekend there, I was asked to swab 2 deceased victims. And I told the doctor, swab them yourself. I'm not going to play this game. I'm not going to be part of this.
You get to a point where you're fed up with the junk.
Yeah.
You're just fed up with the junk.
Yeah. And so I'm sure that everything that I just said probably is going to get us, shadow banned on YouTube, but whatever. It's truth. It's truth. I lived it. I whatever.
Well, my youngest son was in college at that time, and almost done with college, and the colleges in Virginia started mandating that vaccine for them to return to school, and he had a semester left. And I was reading those studies that were showing the problems with the myocarditis and the pericarditis in young males age 18 to 24.
Especially the athletic ones. Boom,
no, you're not. No, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to get you back to school. The doctor wouldn't, and he's allergic to penicillin, and nobody could tell me what was in the vaccine. So I'm like, no, we don't even know what's in it.
Yeah.
What if you're allergic to something that's in it?
Yeah. Well, my precious bonus son, and I won't go into great detail, but let's just say it was against Bill's wishes while he had cancer, when he had made it clear that was not going to happen. He was vaccinated, and ever since has had an autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
Has been hospitalized twice. So
he's very young.
He is. He's only 9 now, and it is absolutely disgusting. And if you look on, PubMed, I'm not even telling you look up, any kind of anti-COVID sites. Look up PubMed and see actual studies that have been done on, different diseases that exist today that have exploded since that vaccine, and it proved that the very diagnosis that he got has risen massively just since the vaccine's been allowed for kids, and it absolutely disgusted me. So anyway,
there's no correlation, Wendy.
No, I'm just such a conspiracy theorist. I mean, it's crazy. So anyway, needless to say, he's not getting any boosters, and that was made clear. So thank God for that.
But then, I mean, stuff like this happens, and then they wonder why the majority of the people don't trust them.
I know.
Well, this is why, because you lie, you put poison in our food, you're making money off of it. I mean,
yeah. And that's another thing that the MAHA movement is going to do right now. The NIH, they I love the NIH for what they are supposed to be doing. I'm telling you,
Yes.
they've accomplished a lot with my husband with his weird form of rapidly growing tumor that he had as a result of his cancer. And the people that work there are world class. I'm telling you, treated us like we were king and queen coming in to stay in their facility. They're just amazing people. Um, that being said, 90 to 95% of every dollar that is funneled into the NIH is from the pharmaceutical companies. So they are making
Good.
sure they are paying for the results they want in
Yep.
all of these studies. That is why there is only about 10% being done of studies in the NIH about, actual lifestyle changes affecting health. Very little of that is being done.
Well, in the whole medical system overall, because they don't make any money if we're healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
You
It's
know?
there's no money in it at all.
Right.
And that's another thing that they've talked about with the a movement for true health and public accountability. There's talk of amazing ideas that they have of giving incentives to people who put lifestyle first. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what Europe does,
Yep.
and I mean, but when you come in with a problem in Europe, they say, okay, let's give you 6 months to try and fix this before they throw pills at you.
Right. Before they do anything, they
Right.
want to do lifestyle changes
Yes.
first, which is how it should be.
Exactly how it should be. Our doctors don't even understand what lifestyle
No, let
change
me give you
means.
some injections that we
Yes,
don't know have any idea whatsoever at all how it's going to affect you 5
exactly.
years from now.
Exactly. And so, but there's talk of there being incentives, instead of somebody with a SNAP card only able to buy, whatever foods, also they can go to farmers markets and use them.
Right.
They can use them to purchase a gym membership,
Right.
things like that. I mean, there's a lot of things that they're talking about helping people in all areas. If
Yes.
anybody says that this is a rich person's gain, wrong.
No.
They want this to be something available to
To everyone.
everybody.
Everyone.
Currently, 10% of every dollar of the SNAP program is spent on soda and sugary drinks. 10%.
And I'm not saying they shouldn't be allowed to make the choice.
Agreed. Agreed.
But
Let them make the choice, but they should have.
they should definitely have incentives of making better choices.
Mhm.
But when you have organic, good food, good, clean food that costs more than regular, and they're shopping at the grocery store for their family, they need better, affordable options.
Yeah. Yeah. Give them better affordable options, and
Yep.
maybe give them more to accommodate those if that is somebody that is actually trying to buy organic, actually trying to
Exactly.
go to the farmers markets, actually
Exactly.
trying to spend their dollars at, a real beef farm instead
Right.
of,
Or to be able to order from somebody like Polyface Farms,
yeah, exactly. So
or a
I'm really
local farm.
Yeah, I'm really excited about what that's going to do. Of course, part of the public accountability is going to bleed over into the schools because our school lunch program is horrible, horrible, and has been for a long time, and has also been bought and paid for by the processed food companies,
Yep.
and that should sicken you all. Unfortunately, and I'm not going to get political, but there was an administration a couple of administrations ago that was very much about improving the health of the school lunches, and then there is so much documented proof that they were bought and paid for. They shifted their focus because the money was too good being thrown at them to shut up and to allow all of these processed foods into the schools. So it was awful. Also, just a couple other things real quick, because my goodness, we're running up time as we do. We're passionate about this stuff, y'all, if you didn't notice.
I'm fed up. I am
Yes,
fed up. I am fed up with the lies. I'm fed
I am
up with
too.
the lining the money, the pockets.
Yep,
I'm fed up with the corruption.
same.
And you know what? I am extremely hopeful of significant change.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the other things that a lot of people may not think of when they're thinking food, part of the other direction of the MAHA movement is to prioritize regenerative agriculture. That's huge.
That's where
That is
Joel Salatin comes in.
Yes, Joel Salatin, Thomas Massey. I
Yes.
mean, incredible how that is going to be a big change. Right now, a lot of you all may not realize there was a farm bill implemented years ago that incentivized the farmers to use the Monsanto, crops, to use the Monsanto seeds, to,
Use the pesticides,
use the
use the
pesticides.
chemicals,
It
use the
actually
fertilizer.
people that are raising I'm telling you, when I tell you, go out and find these organic farms,
It's
spend
amazing.
all your money with them because
Yep.
they are doing it out of their own principles and beliefs because
Yep.
the government is working against them in such a
Yep.
huge way. It is sick.
Because
And
Big Ag's has tried their best to shut down
yeah,
small farms,
yeah,
and they portray it as helping, and what they end up doing is shutting them down.
right,
And I'm
right.
like, no, no, no.
Oh,
And
it's insane.
Joel, if y'all don't know, Joel Salatin is part owner of Polyface Farm right outside of Charlottesville in the Shenandoah Valley. He has a regenerative farm and you can order if you're here in Richmond or I think close to you. They go up to Maryland somewhere, Wendy,
Mhm.
Annapolis.
Yep.
They go as far as Annapolis and all the way to Virginia Beach. You can order from them online and know that your food is no chemicals, pasture raised,
Yep.
and no toxic stuff.
Yeah.
Polyface Farms.
Yeah. They're amazing. And
And
I've been
he
wanting
is going
to,
to be working with RFK
yeah.
or somebody on this regenerative farming
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
it more broad.
So excited about that.
Well, yeah, because I mean, even the big farms, that's why our food has no nutrients.
Yeah.
Because our ground's been depleted.
It's been depleted because of all the chemicals, but it's also been depleted because they've been incentivized to do monoculture.
Yeah.
That's not how monoculture is. Like when you see, just
All of the
acres
same
and
thing.
acres that are just all the same thing. That's
Yep.
exactly what they've been incentivized to do. Whereas that's not how our soil works. Our soil needs some crop rotation. It needs different types of plants like, for example, when I
And
do
it needs the animals too.
yes, which we're doing horrible to our bees, to our animals. It's funny. I haven't gotten to the point where I refuse to eat venison, but it used to be you knew that you were getting the best of the best meat with the venison. I'm not running out trying to get venison anymore, from my friends who are hunters because I don't know what the heck they've been eating because of all the garbage being sprayed.
Or soybean fields. Do deer
Oh,
eat soybeans? I mean, 'cause
yes.
there's a lot of them around,
Yep.
so they got to be eating some of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. So, and not only that, with the regenerative agriculture becoming a priority, which is so exciting, and regenerative agriculture, for anybody who doesn't know, not only encourages to get away from the monoculture, encourages you to grow multiple different things because like when I grow corn and I have the beans climbing up it, I do the Three Sisters gardens and they all work.
It throws the nutrients back into the ground while you're still growing something. So
Yeah.
your food is going to be more nutrient dense than
Exactly.
having the mono.
Exactly. But not only that, it's going to protect natural resources.
Yep.
Right now, I can't
And
remember.
use less water.
Yeah. I can't remember the percentage, but this is so disgusting and disturbing. It is something like 15% or something, a huge chunk of the Gulf of Mexico is now in what they're calling like a black zone because there's no life that can live in it because of all the runoff think about where all of our farms are, all the runoff into the Mississippi, then, and all those major rivers that go down into the Gulf of Mexico. It's causing this whole huge section of the Gulf of Mexico where no life can live.
Because all the chemicals are pooling there.
Yes.
Disgusting.
It's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And then the last thing, and this kind of goes along with everything else that we've already said, removes harmful toxins from our food, water, and air. So, I mean, the whole MAHA movement is going to be amazing. There's going to be so much more to come.
And it has nothing to do with politics. This has nothing to do with politics. Every person in America should want clean food, clean air, and clean water.
Yes.
And I know that RFK is the best one to do this because he is an environmental guy.
Yeah.
He's going to take care of the environment while he's making the food clean.
Yeah. Yeah. And, one of the things I've heard from people who are mad about him being appointed is, oh, well, he's not a doctor. Why is he in charge of HHS? Neither is the current one. The current one is also an attorney.
Yeah.
He's an attorney.
I'll tell you, RFK has a history of going after pollutants and chemicals and things like that. He has a history of that, and they're not portraying that on regular media of what the things that he has accomplished.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. If you go, just go look it up.
It is. It's very amazing what all he's accomplished for the environment. And also, anybody that thinks that this is just, a problem that he's just focused on that's racially motivated or anything, let me tell you what he has worked on for his life has been, there is this Indian tribe, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name of these particular Indians, but they're somewhere near the border of Mexico. So there's tribes both in Mexico and in America. Whenever it was, about 50 years ago, 40 years ago, whenever we started funneling money into the Indian tribes, or not funneling money, funneling food, it was all processed junk. Okay. Right. This particular Indian tribe, they have been studying because they want to know, gee, why are they so overweight? Because it's something like 90% of this particular tribe is horribly overweight. They're killing off these poor people. Interesting thing nobody likes to talk about, the people who want to prove that it must be genetic and not at all the garbage we've been fueling them with.
Right.
Their ancestors or their
counterparts in Mexico
are this big. They are all healthy. They are some of the healthiest people out there.
Yep.
Robert Kennedy has been trying to show the difference. This is zero to do with genetics. This has everything to do with America poisoning these poor people.
Yep.
And he has been trying to make headway there. It's incredible, the studies that have been done. So
he's been doing a whole lot that I mean, I didn't even know how much he had done. I had to go research it a little bit, because I'm like, it's pretty amazing.
It is.
I'm all in. I'm all in for RFK Jr. and the MAHA movement.
Me too. And we went way much longer on that than I planned on, but oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, that's who we are.
Our passion speaks volumes. I mean, it's just how we are. I can't help it. So shall we jump into morning routine? Because I am not putting this off one more week.
Go for it. We promised it for 2 weeks now. Morning routines.
Morning routines. This is so important. We talked about nighttime routines a couple of weeks ago. It's such a big part of your day. It's such a big part of helping to set the tone for your day when you set a morning routine. And first of all, let me just tell you that you're not going to do all this. Not all of this is going to matter to you. Not everything needs to happen every single day. The day that you decide to have a morning routine, start with one or two things.
Yep.
Start with one or two things.
Start with whatever's going to make your life run smoother.
Yep. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to run through some things. We can talk about certain ones, but maybe in future episodes, we'll dive in a whole lot deeper on why certain things are so much, have so much importance. But is huge to get 5 to 10 minutes of exercise in the morning, whether it be stretching, whether it be, actual just
You
getting
can
out
do
and
this
walking.
before you even get out of the bed.
Yes, you can. You can.
You
Very
can
true.
stretch. I do it every morning, and it just starts the morning off right. You
Yeah,
can lay
yeah.
in your bed, you can stretch all kinds of ways, even before you get up.
Absolutely. It sets the tone for a healthier day. It
Yeah.
often leads to healthier eating choices because you've already gotten things moving and you just
Yes.
are like, man, I started my day off healthy. I want to keep going. It does boost your energy, makes you more focused and alert. And this can be simple stuff. It can be, like Wendy said, you can do stretches right there in the bed for 5 minutes before you get out of bed. You
Yep.
can do yoga moves. You can do high intensity interval training. The YouTube has
So
so
many.
many videos for
So many.
free that are like, 2 minute, 5 minute,
Yep.
7 minute videos. Do
Right
something.
in your own home, you can even keep your jammies on.
Yep. Now, if you want to combine this with some of the other things that make for a great morning routine, one being to get outside in the light first
Yes.
thing in the morning, make your first 5 minutes of your day, while your coffee's brewing or whatever you're doing, and get outside for 5 minutes.
Yes.
They've proven that even just 2 minutes of first morning sunlight will help to reset your circadian rhythm. It
Yep.
helps to boost your mood. It helps to boost your energy.
It helps your eyesight too.
It
But
does help your eyesight.
sun gazing.
Yep. Yep. And along with that too, if you do it without devices, you
Yeah.
get out there, don't touch your phone yet. Get out there,
No.
listen to the birds,
Yeah.
see the first rays of sun, do some deep breathing while you're outside. It's the best way to clear your mind and get increased energy to start your day.
And when you do that, when you're out there and you just think about gratitude.
Exactly. See, that's just it. So many of these things all go together. You can
Yeah.
knock out 5 things at once,
One
just walking
time.
outside for 5 minutes.
Yep.
The movement, the
The
sun,
breathing.
the
Yep.
breathing. You can do deep breathing for 1 whole minute of that.
Yep.
The
You will, I think most people will amaze themselves just going outside first thing in the morning and taking a nice deep breath.
Yep. Yep. So definitely that is so helpful. Just you got to get that 2 minutes minimum of the natural sunlight.
Yes.
But if you couple that with your 5 minutes of first morning exercise, luckily I'm blessed to have a nice long driveway. So, all I got to do is walk to the end and back and, look over the field and I breathe in, I listen to the birds, I see the gorgeous sunrise. Man, that's the best start to my
Yes,
day.
it is.
So that is huge.
I don't have a long driveway, but I like to walk around my yard, see what my plants are doing, and just kind of listen to the birds and feel that gratitude and take those breaths.
Exactly.
There's no better way to start a day.
Absolutely. It helps you become more connected to everything, gives you more of a reason to have that gratitude, which is super important.
Because no matter what you got going on, there's always a bunch of things to be thankful for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So as far as something physical you can do in addition to movement, water with lemon. My morning detox drink that I've shared in here multiple times, where you actually do the heated water with the lemon, the cinnamon, the ginger, the raw organic apple cider vinegar, unfiltered. That is all, I've already, I won't go into that again, but that all has so many medicinal benefits all throughout. But the water with lemon alone, it helps to flush toxins. Vitamin C boost. If you're doing it warm, it'll help to aid digestion. I mean, it's
plus it gives it a little flavor.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I get bored with just plain water.
Absolutely.
I've been freeze drying a whole bunch of lemons.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And drinking a full glass of water is, whether it's got lemon or not, It boosts your metabolism and it aids your body in flushing out the toxins. One of
Yes.
the things we do overnight is our body is trying to excrete these toxins. It needs help sometimes in the morning. You
Process.
wake
Yeah,
up,
you got to help it process out.
yeah, you wake up, you're naturally dehydrated because you haven't drank water all night.
Yep.
So you want to get up and drink a good 8 to 16 ounces of water, first thing in the
Start
morning.
things up. It'll help you go longer on your fasting too.
It will for sure. Something else that is very helpful is to plan and log your food for the day. That will really help you eliminate mindless eating. It opens your eyes to the truth of what you're really eating. That's always been, I hate logging food. My clients know I talk about it all the time. Despise logging food.
Yeah.
But when you do it, you are more accountable to yourself. You
Yeah.
actually
It really
realize
makes you realize exactly everything that you're putting in your mouth.
you're less likely to just grab stuff
Yeah.
mindlessly and eat it for no reason when you're not hungry if you have planned. And I'll tell you what it helps me with, and something we'll have to talk about one day. I'm a big believer in being fiber focused for health. Whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to maintain weight, whether you just want to get healthier, is being fiber focused. It's going to be a future book. I'm telling y'all, I'm so passionate about this. And if I log my food in the morning, it's with the intent of, okay, let me get all my fiber in. Where am I getting my
Right.
fiber from today? And I log it. And in case anybody has never heard me talk about this, Carb Manager is my favorite to use.
I love
That's
Carb Manager.
it's a free app. Yes, they have a premium version. You don't need it. I mean, if you want to, great. But anything you ever hear me talk about, you do not need the paid version for. But it really does.
Where our thriftiness comes in.
Yes, I like free. I like free. So anyway, it really will help you if you're logging your food, detect any unhealthy patterns, even when you know that oh gosh, when I'm with this friend, boy, I make some horrible decisions. So it might make you more aware when you're around that particular friend or when you're in a certain situation,
To make better choices.
yeah, to make better choices and plan better. Let's see here. One thing that is huge, and there's been so many studies on this, is guided prayer and meditation. I always talk about my morning tag time alone with God. Whether you're a believer or not, I cannot start my day without my tag time. I need my time with God. It just helps set my whole day up. And in that time, doing guided prayer and meditation in that first 30 minutes of your day, there have been so many studies that have proven that 5 minutes of guided prayer or meditation in the first 30 minutes of the day and the last 30 minutes of the day helps to decrease stress and anxiety. It helps to reduce cortisol levels.
Absolutely.
It helps to reduce the big cortisol spikes we get in the middle of the day. It increases self-awareness so that you realize where changes need to be made in your life. It also improves, decreases heart rate and blood pressure. So super, super important. And in that time, Wendy and I were talking about gratitude. Journal. Do a gratitude journal. If you don't have time to write minutes and minutes and minutes of stuff, pick 5 things a day that you're grateful for and make it a commitment that all week you're going to pick 5 different things. It can be the silliest things in the world, oh, I'm grateful I had matching socks this morning.
That's right.
It doesn't matter, but it's something you're grateful for and it puts you in this state.
It changes the mindset because you have choices on everything.
Yeah.
You can focus on what's wrong and what's going bad, or you could focus on thankfulness, gratefulness, gratitude, what's going right, what's good.
Yep.
Your faith. I mean, if you focus on good, the laws of the universe say you're going to get good. If you focus on bad, the law of the universe is going to bring bad.
Yeah.
You don't want bad, but that's what you keep focusing on because maybe you're stressed, maybe just overwhelmed, whatever. But if that's what you focus on, that's what's going to come your way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So changing the mindset to just gratitude, thankfulness, focus on your faith and just allow God to take over, because when you know that God's got it,
Yeah.
that relieves a lot of stress immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. It really does help you focus on all you have to be thankful for.
That's
And
right.
we all do. I
Yeah,
don't care how
that's
bad
right.
life is, we can all find something to be
Absolutely.
thankful for.
Even in the worst of darkest times, there's a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah. I'm gonna put off us talking about salt water
Okay.
for another time.
Are you talking about like the Soleil
Yeah.
with
Oh,
the salt,
you
heavy
pronounce it
salt?
Soleil. I always pronounced it Soul. Is it not? Is it Soleil? It
I
might
don't
be
know. I heard Soleil because I use Soleil because I'm like, is
salt
that the
water.
same thing?
Salt water. We'll talk about that on another episode. We'll talk about coffee and green tea on another episode, because those will, there's so many benefits to that. I will just tell you, for morning routine purposes, try and limit your coffee to 1 cup and then switch
Yes.
over to green tea.
Yep.
The health
Nobody needs
benefits
more
are
than 1 cup of coffee.
Yeah, I mean, there's definite benefits in coffee, so I don't want you to
Right.
eliminate it if it's something you enjoy, but you don't need to drink a whole pot like Wendy
No.
Massey used to do.
We used to do few pots when we were together.
We did. Oh my gosh, we just keep on going, keep on going. We're gonna save the world, and we're
tea
going
now.
Yes. So we'll talk about that. I'm also going to talk more on another episode about what to do if you're eating before noon. People that don't, because I really think that the time restricted intake is so important. But if you are eating first thing in the morning, and we'll explain this more in another episode, go with a green smoothie. It's such a healthier start to your day, and we'll cover that in another time. Cold showers. This is something I haven't been ready to do yet, but I know I need to do it.
I started trying it because I'm a big Dan Bongino fan, y'all. I watch Dan Bongino every night as my news. I love him just because he's libertarian and he's passionate and feisty. Sometimes his language gets to me, but I overlook that.
Yeah. He does. He
does the cold showers, and he swears by the cold showers. So Rick and I started the cold shower thing. Whew, sometimes that's a lot to handle.
Yeah.
But it is, I can tell a difference.
Right.
So now it's like I don't do it every morning anymore. But when I need it, I can just pop in there. And I'm a sissy. I have to start out a little warm and work my way down.
Well, I was actually reading a article that Dr. Stephen Gundry had written about the cold showers, and it was really fascinating because I haven't done it because I thought it had to, and my son does them, where he just gets all in and just freezes to death. He was saying that if you just take your normal shower and turn it to all the way to cold for the last 30 seconds to 2 minutes, that even that will give you so much benefit. If you
I've noticed the difference in my hair.
Isn't that something?
Because of the cold water.
I bet it has something to do, because one of the things he talks about is that it tells the cells that aren't working well to recycle themselves. And as we age, our scalp cells, our hair cells are a big piece of that. So I bet you're probably getting a good regeneration of cells that are affecting your
So if you don't think that you can do it, start in there with your regular shower, and then just cut it back and cut it back and cut it back till you get used to it, and then just go for it for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds to 2 minutes, he said.
When I first started it, I was okay with like in the freezing cold with my body, but for some reason I got too cold when I got my head wet.
Oh yeah.
So I had to like work up to that.
Yeah.
So it's okay if you have to work up to it.
Yeah. It also makes our bodies more efficient, activates anti-inflammatory properties, which is something we should always be working towards, and increases the production of serotonin. So even though it sounds like it's going to make you miserable, it really boosts your happy hormones. So
Rick felt more of a physical difference than I did. I could tell like in my blood flow.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah.
he felt more physically invigorated
Uh-huh.
immediately. So I was like, okay, well, there you go. That's enough. That's
Yeah.
enough just
Yeah.
to do it for 30 seconds to 2 minutes.
Exactly. So the only other things I was going to mention as part of your morning routine, one we sort of mentioned with the deep breathing.
Yeah.
If when you're outside, again, combine some of these things. If you're
Yes.
outside for your couple of minutes while you're walking for 5 minutes, do 3 deep breaths that take you a full minute to do. If you're getting your air deep into your lungs, and even with good deep breaths into your stomach and everything, it will do wonders for clearing your head and starting your day feeling relaxed.
It will.
So make sure that you do that. And also, I'll just throw this in there, avoid social media and news until after your morning routine. You do not
need a lot better.
You do not need to roll over and pick up that phone. And if you took our advice on the nighttime routine, your phone should be in the other room anyway.
Right. Or at least across the room.
Or at least across the room. So avoid social media and news until you do your morning routine. It will help you approach it in a much more mentally healthy way.
Yes.
Another thing, and this is the last thing, and then I'll shut up. Read nonfiction.
Does she say that every week?
I know.
Y'all, let me know. Does she say that every week?
I do. Read nonfiction for 10 minutes. For those of you all who do your time alone with God in the morning, it can be the Bible. It can be something else. It can be a business focused book, something with a positive mindset. But if you devote yourself to reading 10 minutes of nonfiction every day, there are so many studies that have proven that not only are you going to be more successful in life, more positive, more your energy levels are going to be higher. You're going to be able to accomplish so much more. I'm not saying don't ever read fiction. If that's something you enjoy for your downtime, relax time, that's great to do at night.
Right.
But read 10 minutes of nonfiction to start your day, and it will boost your brain. Boost your brain power.
That's right.
Girl, what you doing this week?
Oh, I wanted to share with y'all because Jamie and I had soap week last Wednesday after the podcast. So this is my peppermint soap that my husband requested. So I had peppermint leaves infusing in oil for 8 weeks before doing this. It smells amazing. Jamie took home oat lavender.
Okay.
I will get pictures from her, but we had a good time. It was fun, lots of fun. I showed you before we started, but I got a new book.
Yes.
So I'm going to be diving into this, and so I can learn more about wild herbs and foraging. And actually, when I was looking through here, some of the stuff I grow already. Awesome. And a lot of it has to do with weeds that are just common in our area that are medicinal. And they have books for every region of the United States.
Very cool.
So that's exciting.
And you have one other thing that I'm not going to steal your thunder because you shared it with me. How about that sale going on through November 30th?
Yeah. I almost forgot about that. Y'all, Harvest Right freeze dryers have a Black Friday sale of $900 off. I have never seen them run this much off. Plus, they have a free layaway plan with $250 down. You can pay what you can, when you can. They'll keep track of it. And as soon as you've paid it off, they'll ship it out to you. And amazing.
That locks in the price. That's what
locks in the sale price. Yes, it does. And if you're looking at them, I would say the medium size freeze dryer is going to do any household a great job. You don't have to have a special circuit or anything. With the large and the extra large machines, you have to have a dedicated circuit, and the amperage is up to the 240. Not an electrician. Not a regular house plug.
Yeah.
So that's why I went with the medium. And the medium has 5 trays, and I would buy that again. And I see myself in the future getting another medium size. Yeah. And since I've had mine since April, I've been kind of running it nonstop. My electric bill has not gone up.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. It is
awesome.
amazing. So if anybody is interested in the Harvest Right freeze dryer, now is the time. I've seen them run the sale. I told Wendy last year that they run this sale every Black Friday, but I've never seen it down to $900 off.
Yeah, that's incredible. And that's what I'm going to do. I've already got permission from the hubby who's sick and tired of me buying appliances.
I mean, how great is that? $250 down, and you can pay what you can when you can.
Yeah. And get locked into the price.
Yes.
That's incredible. So that is what I'm going to do. So, and again, it's harvestright.com, correct?
Harvest, that's a good question. It's either harvestright.com or harvestrightfreezedryer.com.
Okay, but it's the Harvest Right company.
If you Google Harvest Right freeze dryer, they're the only ones.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm definitely going to do that. Yeah. And as far as what I'm up to this week, I am nonstop working on this website. I had hoped that by today I would be able to share specifics. But I have to
wait a little longer.
Yes, it should be by the end of the week. But I will share my big news that I posted about yesterday.
Yes.
That I was going to wait till rollout, but I will just tell you it's too good not to share. That after almost 3 years of me working on trying to get a payment option for my clients, in the past I was doing First National Bank of Massey. With the hope and a prayer that people would honor their commitment.
Right.
And unfortunately, when one person didn't and still owed us a year of payments and she bolted, I had to stop that because we just
that always ruins it.
Yeah, it ruined it for everybody, unfortunately.
As much as we love people and want to trust.
Yeah.
That everybody will do the right thing.
But now Klarna and Afterpay have approved me, approved our company. We're going to be able to offer payments through them that I will have nothing to do with. You do it through them. And I can tell you, my daughter and I tested them all. They, some, depending on the program, up to 2 years of payments, which I never offered that much.
Wow.
And some.
What a great option for your clients.
And some of the payment options through Afterpay are even interest-free, depending on, how I think it's the lower amounts, the lower amount of time. But just to have that option available to people. Yeah. And this even goes for people who are just wanting to pay for, a 1 hour consult. I mean, it can be anything that is on our website. You'll be able to apply that and do the buy now, pay later type thing. So excited to have that as an option. And it'll work for any price point. So
that's awesome. That's very exciting because sometimes that's the only option we have to do something.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you, my one-to-one clients that are, my most expensive program in the past, I've never really been able to offer any kind of payment because it's an expensive program.
Right.
And it's expensive for me to offer it. And in my time and everything, all the resources we pour into each individual, even Klarna has a 2-year payment plan for that puts it at something like $200 a month. I mean, it's incredible. So, even people that know that they need a lot more close attention that have never even considered some of the more expensive programs, because, it's just not
now they probably have an affordable option.
Yeah. And quite honestly, it's even going to be less expensive than what I offered for payments because it's a bank that can.
Right.
My payment plans were a lot more expensive because
because you're taking the risk and you're this big compared to them who's this big.
Yeah. So anyway, great news. So excited. It's going to be a total game changer for anybody who is hoping to be able to work with me. And I'm just, so excited to have
it. I love it. Okay. I'm just going to throw out that the next time we get together, we're going to talk about cupping.
Yes.
And I don't know if y'all know what that is, but it's I thought it was originally ancient Chinese, but evidently the Egyptians were cuppers too. But it's a healing practice, and I took an amazing class last night, so I just wanted to share with y'all next time.
Nice. I look forward to that. So, all right, we've gone crazy long, but whatever. I'm tired of saying it. We're gonna go as long as we go, y'all. That's just how
right.
it's gonna be.
MAHA just got us rip roaring and ready to go.
Yes, for sure. All right, guys. As always, stay well. We love you. We look forward to seeing you live next week on Wednesday for the WOW podcast. Wendy's on Wellness Wednesday. Mwah.